So, good morning, and thank you for joining me here again. This is day 3. I know that the stream says day 2, so I'm just coming to grips with how everything works. And I was able to change one or two things, and that's just something I just forgot. But thank you for joining me here again today, day 3 of reading the Bible. This Genesis Genesis is tough. It is really tough. And what's making it tough is pronouncing the names. And I remember when I was 12 reading the Bible, and I got selected as one of the young people because I was in church a lot to go up and read the Bible. And I remember reading that Bible so clearly, so crisply, cleanly, and relatively quickly with ease. And now I am struggling. So that shows how much I read books back then, because I wasn't just reading the Bible, I was also reading other books. So I just need to get back in tune with just reading, and this is good for just reading. And I'm sort of happy to be doing this because I need to practice, and also I want to gain a better understanding of the Bible, its principles, and where we all stand and why we are doing what we do, and the choices that we make. So today's choices are really individual. There is the Bible is about community, and we just don't follow that rule anymore. So anyway, we are on chapter 12, and we have been doing 6 chapters a day so far, and then we're going to see if we can get on with another 6 chapters. Day 3. I'm reading the whole Bible. My name is Innes Sleepy. I thank you for joining me. If you haven't hit the like button, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, I appreciate you. Love you loads. And let's get into this. Chapter 12. Now the Lord has said unto Abraham, get thee out of thy country, from thy kindred, and from thy father's house, unto a land that I will show thee. And I will make of thee a great nation, and I will bless thee, and make thy name great. And thou shalt be a blessing. And I will bless them that bless thee, and curse him that curses thee. And in thee shall all families of the earth be blessed. So Abraham departed, as the Lord had spoken unto him. And Lot went with him, and Abraham was 75 years old when he departed out of Haran. And Abraham took Sarah his wife, and Lot his brother's son, and all of the substance that they had gathered, and the souls that they had gotten in their Haran. And they went forth to go into the land of Canaan, and into the land of Canaan they came. And Abram passed through the land unto the place of Shechem, unto the plain of Moriah, and Canaan, and the Canaanite was then in the land. And the Lord appeared unto Abram and said, unto thy seed will I give this land. And there builded he an altar unto the Lord, who appeared unto him. And he removed from thence unto the mountain on the east of Bethel, and pitched his tent, having Bethel on the west, having Bethel on the west, and Hai on the east. And there he builded an altar unto the Lord, and called upon the name of the Lord. And Abraham journeyed, going on still towards the south. And there was a famine in the land, and Abraham went down into Egypt, to sojourn there, for the famine was grievous. For the famine was grievous in the land. And it came to pass, when he came near to enter into Egypt, that he said unto Sarai his wife, behold, now that thou art a fair woman to look upon, therefore it shall come to pass, when the Egyptians shall see thee, that thou shalt say, this is his wife, and they will kill me, but they will save thee alive. So that they kill him, but not her. Say, I pray thee, thou art my sister, that it may be well with me for thy sake, and my soul shall live because of thee. And it came to pass that when Abram came into Egypt, the Egyptians beheld the woman, that she was very fair. The princes also of Pharaoh saw her and commanded her before Pharaoh. And the woman was taken into Pharaoh's house, and he entered, and he entreated Abram well for her sake. And he had sheep and oxen, and he had asses and manservants and maid servants, and she had asses and camels. And the Lord plagued Pharaoh and his house with great plagues because of Sarah, Abram's wife. And Pharaoh called Abram and said, What is this that thou hast done unto me? Why didst thou not tell me that she was thy wife? Why saidst thou, she is my sister? Why saidst thou, she is my sister? So I might have taken her into me to wife. Now therefore, behold thy wife, take her and go thy way. And Pharaoh commanded his men concerning him, and they sent him away, and his wife, and all that he had. And Abram went up to Egypt, and he and his wife, and all that he had, and Lot with him. Into the south of Abram was very rich in cattle, in silver, and in gold. And he went on his journeys from the south, even to Bethel, unto the place where his tent had been at the beginning, between Bethel and Hai, unto the place of the altar where he had made there at first. And there Abram came unto the name of the Lord. And Lot also, which ran into Abram, had flocks and herds and tents, and the land was not able to bear them, that they might dwell together, for their substance was great, so that they could not dwell together. And there was a strife between the herdmen and Abram's cattle, and the herdmen of Lot's cattle, and the Canaanite and the Perizzites dwelled then in the land. And Abram said unto Lot, Let there be no strife, I pray thee, between me and thee, and between my herdmen and thy herdmen, for we be brethren. It is not the whole land before thee. Separate thyself, I pray thee, for me. If thou wilt take the left hand, then I will go to the right. Or if thou wilt depart on the right hand, then I will go to the left. And Lot lifted up his eyes and beheld all the plain of Jordan, that it was well watered everywhere, before the Lord destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah, even as the garden of the Lord, like the land of Egypt. And thou comest unto Zoar. Then Lot chose him all the plain of Jordan. And Lot journeyed east, and they separated themselves the one from the other. Abram dwelled in the land of Canaan, and Lot dwelled in the cities of the plain, and pitched his tent towards Sodom. But the men of Sodom were wicked, and the sinners before the Lord exceedingly. And the Lord said unto Abram, I think it's Abram, after Lot was separated from him, lift up now thine eyes, and look forward, and look from the place where thou art northward and southward and eastward and westward. For all the land which thou seest, to thee will I give it, and to thy seed forever, and I will make thy seed as the dust of the earth, so that if a man can number the dust of the earth, then shall thy seed also be numbered. Arise, walk through the land in the length of it and breadth of it, for I will give it to thee. Then Abram removed his tent, and came and dwelt in the plain of Moreh, which is in Hebron, and built there an altar unto the Lord. And it came to pass in the days of Amraphel, the king of Shinar, Aronak, king of Elasar, Ched or Lee, Omar, king of Elam, Tidal, king of nations. That these made war with Bara, kingdom of Sodom, and with Bashir, king of Gomorrah, Shani, king of Admah, and Shember, king of Zoboim, and the king of Bela, which is Zoar. All these were joined together in the vale of Siddim, which is in the Salt Sea. 12 years they served Chedolamah, and the 13th year, and in the 13th year they rebelled. 12 years they served 12 years they served Chi or Dilamah, and in the 13th year they rebelled. And in the 14th year they came to Ched or Leomah, and the kings that were with him, and smote the Rephaims and the Ashtaroth, Canoram and Zuzims in Ham, and the Emims in Shabia. Oh my goodness, this is amazing. Carathium, and the Horites in their Mount Seir unto Alperin, which is by the wilderness. And they returned and came to Mishphat, which is in Kadesh, and smote all the country of the Alamites, and all of the Amorites that dwelt in Hezezon Tamar. And they went out the king of Sodom, and there went out the king of Sodom, and the king of Gomorrah, and the king of Admah, and the king of Zeboim, and the king of Bela. The same is Zoar. And they joined battle with them in the vale of Siddim. Elam with the Tidal king of nations, and the Raphael king of Sinir, and the Aroshna king of Elasar, 4 kings with 5. And the vale of Siddim was full of slime pits. And the kings of Sodom and Gomorrah fled and fell there, and they that remained fled into the mountains. And they took all the goods of Sodom and Gomorrah. They took all the goods of Sodom and Gomorrah, and all of their victuals, and went their way. And they took the Lot, Adam's brother and son, who dwelt in Sodom, and his goods, and departed. And there came one that had escaped, and told Abram and the Hebrew, for he dwelt in the plain of the Memria and the Amorite, brother of Eshcol, brother of Eshcol, and brother of Aner. And they were confederate with Abram. And when Abram heard that his brother was taken captive, he armed his trained servants, born in his own house, 318, and pursued them unto Dan. And he divided himself against them, and he and his servants by night, and smote them, and pursued them unto Haba, which is on the left hand of the Damascus. And he brought back all the goods, and also brought again his brother's Lot, and also goods, and women's also goods, and the women also, and the people. And the king of Sodom went on to meet him after his return from the Where am I? And the king of Sodom went out to meet him, and after his return from the slaughter of Shed-or-Leomar and of the kings that were with him at the valley of Shaveh, which is the king's dale, and Melchek, king of Salem, brought forth bread and wine, and he was the great priest of the Most High God. And he blessed him and said, Blessed be Abram of the Most High, God's possessor of heaven and earth. And blessed be the mist of the high God, which to thy land, and God delivered, and God which hath delivered thine enemies into thine hand, and he gave his tithes of all. And the kings of Sodom said unto Abram, Give me the person that will take And the king of Sodom said unto Abram, Give me the person, and take the goods to thyself. And Abram said to the king of Sodom, I have lifted my hand unto the Lord, and the Most High God, the possessor of heaven and earth, that I will not take from a thread, even a shoe latched, and that I will not take anything. Then I have that I will not take from the thread, even the shoe latchet, and that I will not take anything that is thine, lest thou shouldest say, I have made Abram rich. Save only that which is young, men have eaten, and the portion of the men which went to me, Amir, Ashko, Marie, let them take their portion. Chapter 15. After these things, the word of the Lord came unto Abram in a vision, saying, Fear not, Abram, I am the shield and thy exceeding great reward. And Abram said, Lord God, what wilt thou give me, seeing I go childless, and the steward of my house is Eliezer of Damascus? Is it Eliza of Damascus? And Abraham said, Behold to me, thou hast given no seed, and lo, one born in my house is mine heir. And Abraham said, Behold to me, thou hast given no seed, and lo, one born in my house is mine heir. And behold, the word of the Lord came unto him, saying, Thou shalt not be thine heir, but he that shall come forth out of thine own bowels shall be thine heir. And he brought forth abroad, and said, Look now toward the heaven, and tell the stars of thou to be able to sorry. Okay. Man, this is tough. There you go. This is tough. So bear with me. This King James Version is definitely not an easy read. Okay, so we are on verse 5. And he brought him forth abroad and said, Look now toward heaven and tell the stars, if thou be able to number them. And he said unto him, So shall thy seed be. And he believed in the Lord, and he counted it for him. And he believed in the Lord, and he believed in the Lord, and he counted it to him for righteousness. And he said unto him, I am the Lord that brought thee out of Ur of the Chaldees to give thee this land to inherit it. And he said, Lord God, whereby shall I know that I shall inherit it? And he said unto him, Take me an heifer of 3 years old. And she said, of 3 years old, and a she-goat, and 3 years old, and a ram of 3 years old, and a turtle dove, and a young pigeon. And he took unto him all these, and divided them in the midst of them, and laid each piece one against each other. But the birds divided he not. And when the fowls came down upon the carcass, Abraham drove them away. And when the sun was going down, a deep sleep fell upon them. Abraham, and lo, and horror of great darkness fell upon him. And he said unto Abram, Know of a surety that thy seed shall be a stranger in the land that is not theirs, and shall serve them, and they shall afflict them 400 years. And also that nation whom they shall serve will I judge, and afterwards shall thou come out with great substance, and thou shalt go to thy fathers in peace. Thou shalt be buried in a good old age. But in the 4th generation thou shalt come hither again, for the iniquity of the Amorites is not yet full. And it came to pass that when the sun went down, and it was dark, behold, a smoking furnace, and a burning lamp that passed between these pieces. In that same day the Lord made a covenant with Abraham, saying, Unto thy seed have I given this land, from the river of Egypt unto the great river, the river Ephraimites, and the Canaanites, and the Kenizzites, and the Cammonites, Academonites, and the Hittites, and the Perizzites, and the Rephaim, and the Rephaims, and the Amorites, and the Canaanites, and the Gershites, and the Jebusites. Wow, that's a lot of ites. Chapter 16. Now Sarah, Abram's wife, bare him no child, and she had an handmaid, an Egyptian, whose name was Hagar. And Sarah said unto Abram, Behold, now the Lord hath restrained me from bearing. I pray thee, go unto my maid. It may be that I will obtain a child by her. And Abram hearkened the voice of Sarah. And Sarah, Abram's wife, took Hagar, her maid, the Egyptian, after Abram had dwelt 10 years in the land of Canaan, and gave her to her husband, Abraham to be his wife. And he went unto Hagar, and she conceived. And when she saw that she had conceived, her mistress was despised in her eyes. And Sarah said unto Abram, My wrong be upon thee. I have given my maid into thy bosom. And when she saw that she had conceived, I was despised in her eyes. The Lord judge between me and thee. And Abraham said unto Sarah, Behold, thy maid is in thy hand. Do to her as it pleases thee. And when Sarah had dealt hardly with her, she fled from her face. And an angel of the Lord found her by a fountain of water in the wilderness. By the fountain in the way to share. And he said, Hagar, Sarah's maid, whence comest thou? And whither wilt thou go? And she said, I flee from the face of my mistress Sarah. And the angel of the Lord said unto her, Return to the mistress, and submit thyself unto her hands. And the angel of the Lord said unto her, I will multiply thy seed exceedingly, that it shall not be numbered for multitude. And the angel of the Lord said unto her, Behold, thou art with child, and shalt bear a son, and shalt call his name Ishmael. Because the Lord hath heard thy affliction, he will be a wild man. His hand will be against every man, and every man's hand against him. And he shall dwell in the presence of his brethren. And she called the name of the Lord, and spake unto her, Thou God seest me. For she said, Have I also looked after him that seeth me? Wherefore the well was called Berlahairoi. Behold, it is between Kadesh and Bered. And Hagar bare Abram a son, and Abram called his son's name, which Hagar bare, Ishmael. And Abram was 86 years old, and Hagar bare Ishmael to Abram. And when Abram was 90 years old and 9, the Lord appeared to Abram and said unto him, I am the Almighty God. Walk before me, and be thou perfect. And I will make my covenant between me and thee, and I will multiply thee exceedingly. And Abram fell on his face, and God talked with him, saying, As for me, behold, my covenant is with thee, and thou shalt be a father of many nations. Neither shall thy name any more be called Abram, but thy name shall be Abraham. For the father of many nations have I made thee. And I will make thee exceedingly fruitful, and I will make the nations of thee, and kings shall come out of thee. And I will establish my covenant between me and thee, and thy seed after thee in their generations, for an everlasting covenant to be God's unto thee, and to thy seed after thee. And I will give unto thee, and I will give unto thee and to thy seed after thee the land wherein thou art a stranger, all of the land of Canaan, for the everlasting possessions, and I will be their God. And God said unto Abraham, Thou shalt keep my covenant, therefore thou and thy seed after thee in their generations. This is my covenant which ye shall keep between me and you, and thy seed after thee. Every man-child among you shall be circumcised, and ye shall circumcise the flesh of your foreskin, and it shall be a token of the covenant between me and you. And he that is 8 days old be circumcised, and he that is 8 days old shall be circumcised among you, every man-child in your generation. He that is born in the house or bought with the money of a stranger, which is not of thy seed. He that is born in thy house, and he that is bought with thy money, must need to be circumcised. And my covenant shall be in your flesh for an everlasting covenant. And the uncircumcised man-child whose flesh or foreskin is not circumcised, that soul shall be cut off from his people. He hath broken my covenant. And God said unto Abraham, and Sarah thy wife, Thou shalt not call her name Sarah, but Sarah shall her name be. And I will bless her, and give thee a son also for her. Yea, I will bless her, and she shall be a mother of nations. Kings of people shall be her kings of people shall be of her. Then Abraham fell upon his face and laughed, and said in his heart, Shall a child be born unto him that is 100 years old? And shall Sarah that is 90 years old bear? And Abraham said unto God, that Ishmael might live might live there before thee? And God said, Sarah thy wife shall bear a son indeed, and thou shalt call his name Isaac, and I will establish my covenant with him for an everlasting covenant with his seed after him. And as for Ishmael, I have heard thee. Behold, I have blessed him, and will make him fruitful, and will multiply him exceedingly. 12 princes shall he beget, and I will make him a great nation. But my covenant will I establish with Isaac, which Sarah shall bear unto thee at this set time, in the next year. And he left off talking with him, and God went up from Abraham, and Abraham took Ishmael his son, and all that were born in his house, and all were brought with his money, every male among the men of Abraham's house, and circumcised the flesh of their foreskin in the self same day. And God had said unto him, and Abraham was 90 years old and 9 when he was circumcised in the flesh of the foreskin, and Ishmael his son was 30 years old when he was circumcised in the flesh of the foreskin. In the self same day was Abraham circumcised, and Ishmael his son, and all the men of his house born in the house bought with money of strangers were circumcised with him. Chapter 18. And the Lord appeared unto him in the plains of Mamre, and he sat in the tent door of the heat of the day, and lifted up his eyes and looked, and lo, 3 men stood by him. And when he saw them, he ran to meet them from the tent door, and bowed himself toward the ground, and said, My Lord, if now I have found favor in thy sight, pass not away, I pray thee, from thy from thy servant. Let the water, I pray you, be fetched, and wash your feet, and rest yourselves under the tree. And I will fetch a morsel of bread, and comfort ye your hearts. After that ye shall pass on. And therefore are ye, for therefore are ye come to your servant. And they said, So do as thou hast said. And Abram hastened into the tent unto Sarah, and said, Make ready quick 3 measures of a fine meal, kneaded, and make cakes upon the hearth. And Abraham ran unto the herd, and fetched the calf tender and good, and gave it unto the young man. And he hasted to dress it. And he took butter and milk, and the calf which he had dressed, and set it before them. And he stood by them under the tree, and they did eat. And they said unto him, Where is Sarah thy wife? And he said, Behold, in the tent. And he said, I will certainly return unto thee according to the time of life. And lo, Sarah thy wife shall have a son. And Sarah heard it in the tent door, which was behind him. Now Abraham and Sarah were old and well stricken in age, and it ceased to be with Sarah after the manner of woman. Therefore Sarah laughed within herself, saying, After I am waxed old, shall I have pleasure, that my Lord being old also? And the Lord said unto Abraham, Wherefore did Sarah laugh, saying, Shall I of a surety bear a child, which am old? Is anything too hard for the Lord? At the time appointed, I will return unto thee according to the time of life. Sarah shall have a son. Then Sarah denied, saying, I laughed not, for she was afraid. And he said, Nay, but thou didst laugh. And the men rose up from thence, and looked toward Sodom. And Abraham went with them to bring them on the way. And the Lord said, Shall I hide from Abraham and the thing which I do? See that Abraham shall surely become a great and mighty nation, and all the nations of the earth shall be blessed in him. For I know him, and he will command his children and his household after him, and he shall keep the way of the Lord, to do justice and judgment, and the Lord may bring upon Abram that which hath spoken of him. And the Lord said, Behold, because the cry of Sodom and Gomorrah is great, and because their sin is very grievous, I will go down there, and I will see whether they have done altogether according to the cry of it, which is to come unto me, and if not, I will know. And the man turned their faces from thence, and went towards Sodom. But Abraham stood yet before the Lord. And Abraham drew near and said, Wilt thou also destroy the righteous with the wicked? Peradventure, peradventure, there be 50 righteous within thy city. Wilt thou also destroy and not spare the place for the 50 righteous that are therein? That be fair from thee to do after this manner, to slay the righteous with the wicked. And it was the righteous, and that the righteous should be as the wicked, that far from thee shall not the judge of all the earth do right? And the Lord said, If I find in Sodom 50 righteous within the city, then I will spare all the place for their sakes. And Abram answered and said, Behold, now I have taken upon me to speak unto the Lord, which I am dust and ashes. Peradventure, there shall lack 5 of the 50 righteous. Wilt thou destroy all of the city for the lack of 5? And he said, If I find there 45, I will not destroy it. And he spake unto him yet again, and said, Peradventure, there shall be 40 found there. And he said, I will not do it for 40's sake. And he said unto him, Oh, let not the Lord be angry, and I will speak. Peradventure these shall 30 be found there. And he said, I will not do it for 30 there. And he said, Behold, now I have taken upon me to speak unto the Lord. Peradventure, there shall be 25 found there. And he said, I will not destroy it for 25's sake. And he said, Oh, let not the Lord be angry, and I will speak, yet there is once. Peradventure 10 shall be found there. And he said, I will not destroy for 10's sake. And the Lord went his way, and soon as he had left communion with Abram, and Abram returned unto his place. Chapter 19. And there came 2 angels of Sodom at even, and Lot sat in the gate of Sodom. And Lot, seeing them, rose up to meet them, and bowed himself with his face toward the ground. And he said, Behold now, my lords, turn in, I pray you, into your servant's house, and tarry at night, and wash your feet. And ye shall rise up early, and go your ways. And they said, Nay, but we will abide in the streets all night. And he pressed upon them greatly. And they turned in unto him, and entered into the house, and he made them a feast, and did bake unleavened, unleavened bread, and they did eat. But before they lay down, the man of the city, even the man of Sodom, compassed the house round, both old and young, all of the people from every quarter. And they called unto Lot and said unto him, where are the men which came into thee this night? Bring them out unto us, and that we may know them. And Lot went down out at the door unto them, and shut the door after him, and said, I pray you, brethren, do not so wickedly. Behold, I have two daughters which I have not known. I have two daughters which have not known men. Let me, I pray you, bring them unto thine eyes. Only unto these unto these men do nothing. But therefore came thine under the shadow of my roof. And they said, stand back. And they said again, this one fellow came into sojourn, and he will needs be a judge. Now we deal worse with thee than with them. And they pressed sore upon the men, even Lot, and came near to break the door. But the men put forth their hand and pulled Lot into the house. Can't remember where I was. But the man put forth their hand and pulled Lot into the house to them, and shut the door. And they smote the men that were at the door of the house with blindness, both small and great. And they that were themselves to find the door. 15 and 12 said, and the man said unto Lot, Hast thou here any besides son-in-law, and thy sons, and thy daughters, and whosoever thou hast in the city? Bring them. Bring them. Where are we? Oh man, this print is so small. It's in 12. Bring them out of this place. For we will destroy this place, because the cry at them is waxing great before the face of the Lord, and the Lord hath sent us to destroy it. And Lot went out and spake unto his sons-in-law, which married his daughters, and said, Up, get you out of this place, for the Lord will destroy this city. But he seemed as one that mocked unto his sons-in-law. And when the morning arose, then the angels hastened Lot, saying, Arise, take thy wife and thy two daughters which are here, lest thou be consumed in the iniquity of the city. And while he lingered, the man laid hold upon his hand, and upon his hand of his wife, and upon the hand of his two daughters, the Lord being merciful unto him. And they brought him forth, and set him without the city. And it came to pass, when he had brought them forth abroad, then he said, Escape for thy life. Look not behind thee, neither stay in thou in all thine place. Escape to the mountains, lest thou be consumed. And Lot said unto them, Oh, not so, my lord. Behold, now thy servant hath found grace in the sight Okay, daydreaming. Lingered his wife. And it came to pass that when he had brought them forth abroad, that he said, Escape for thy life. Look not behind thee, neither stay thou in all the plain. Escape to the mountains, lest thou be consumed. And Lot said unto them, Oh, not so, my lord. Behold now, thy servant hath found grace in the sight, and thou hast magnified thy mercy, which thou hast shewed unto me in saying, My life, and I cannot escape to the mountains, lest some evil take me, and I will die. Behold now, this city is near. The city is near to. Behold, this city is near to flee unto. Behold, this city is near to flee unto, and it is a little one. Oh, let me escape thither. It is not a little one, and my soul shall live. And he said unto him, See, I have accepted thee concerning this thing, also that I will not overthrow thee. So I know this story, but anyway, where are we do? And he said unto him, See, I have accepted thee concerning this thing, also I will not overthrow the city for which thou hast spoken. Hast thee escaped thither? For I cannot do anything till thou become thither. Therefore thy name of the city was called Zoar. The sun was risen upon the earth when Lot entered into Zoar and Sodom. And then the Lord rained upon Sodom and upon Gomorrah brimstones and fire from the Lord out of heaven. And he overthrew those cities those cities and all the plain and all the inhabitants of the city, and that were passed upon the ground. But his wife looked back from behind him, and she became a pillar of salt. And Abraham get up early in the morning to the place where he stood before the Lord. And Abraham, he get up early in the place where he stood before the Lord, and he looked towards Sodom and Gomorrah, and towards all the land of the plain, and beheld, and lo, the smoke of the country red up as the smoke of a furnace. And it came to pass when the Lord destroyed the cities of the plains, that God remembered Abraham and sent Lot out of the mindset of the overthrow, which he overthrew the cities in which Lot dwelt. And Lot went up out of Zoar and dwelt in the mountains, and his daughters with him. For he feared to dwell in Zoar, and he dwelt in a cave, and he and his two daughters. And the firstborn said unto the younger, Our father's old, and there is not a man in the earth. There is not a man in the earth to come unto us after the manner of all of the earth. Come, let us make our father drink wine, and we shall lie with him. Then we may preserve seed of our father. And they made their father drink wine that night. And the firstborn went in and lay with her father, and he perceived not when she lay down, nor when she arose. And it came to pass on the morrow that the firstborn said unto the younger, Behold, I lay yesternight with my father. Let us make him drink wine. This night also go thou in and lie with him, that we may preserve the seed of our father. And they made their father drink wine that night also. And the younger arose and lay with him, and he perceived not when she lay down, nor when she arose. Thus were both the daughters of Lot with child by their father, and their firstborn bare a son, and called his name Moab. The same is the father of Moabites. Unto this day, the younger she also bare a son, and called his name Benami. The same is the father of the children of Ammon unto this day. There we go. We made it up to chapter 20, so we did 7 chapters instead of 6 today. That's pretty interesting. Got towards the end. I know the story of how Sodom and Gomorrah was destroyed, and they had one family was saved, and in saving the family, like the mother, she looked back and was turned to a pillar of salt when everyone else was able to escape, because they followed instructions. But this last part about his daughters sleeping with him, that's a lot. That's a lot. I mean, that's a lot. Man, didn't expect to read that. So I'm pretty sure there's going to be a lot of stuff that you come across that's probably going to be a bit shocking. And then I guess as we read on, I'm pretty sure there will come some understanding towards, what's being said or read and stuff. That's pretty intense. So basically, this father unknowingly bear 2 sons through his daughter, who the son was Moab and Benami. So Benami and Moab. And today we would call that incest, and that's like, just reading that sounds wild. That just sounds wild. But I'm looking forward to reading on, and I'm pretty sure it will get into more of, like, why but also, like, it just sounds like the women were desperate to have children, and I need to read it again, because I didn't quite get the understanding of why they felt the need that they had to have children so urgently, and not just urgently, but by their father. So yeah, that was a lot. Anyway, I do thank you for joining us today. I hope you were able to get something from that, and we will tune in again for tomorrow. So the thing says day 2. Today is day 3. So we will tune in tomorrow for day 5. Today is day 3 for day 4, sorry. So we will tune in tomorrow for day 4. So we will see you at about this time, if not a little bit earlier. But this seems like a good time, and then I will get on with my day. And like I said, thank you for joining. And I hope you enjoyed that, and I hope you are learning right along with me. It's been a long time, and man, it's been a long time. So I will see you tomorrow.